Okay, welcome. We are going to go over a lesson in FOIL. We're doing 9-3, and we have the FOIL method, and we have another method which I like, which I call the box method. So if we look at letter B, it says to multiply using FOIL. Well, you can choose which method you'd like, and I call it the box method. So what you do is you take your two binomials, which you need to multiply, and you make a little multiplication chart. And on that multiplication chart, you put either one on the top up here. So we'll pick the first one to put here, 3x minus 4. And I kind of separate them, but I keep the sign with it. And then on the vertical column here, I put in a 2x and a plus 5 vertically. And then I'm just going to multiply just like a multiplication table. I'm going to take this term, multiply it by that term. Okay, so we're multiplying. We're multiplying out here. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 4 is going to be negative 8x. 5 times 3x is 15x. And 5 times 4 is negative 20. Now you'll notice in the table that you have like terms on the diagonal. And you have 15x plus a negative 8x. So we're going to combine those like terms and get a 7x. And then what happens is this diagonal ends up being your answer, which is 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. And that is how you multiply two binomials together. The other method is the FOIL method, which is explained up here. You can look that over if you want. Pause the video, look it over. So let's just make sure this answer is right, and I believe it is. Yes, it is. I could use the FOIL method on letter C instead of the box method here. So the FOIL method says take the first terms and multiply them together. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Then it says take the outers, which is the outside terms. 3x times negative 5 is negative 15x. And if you make a chart or do the box method, you're going to get the same values as I'm getting here. You just combine them differently, or combine like terms. They just look a little bit different. So we did outers. We're going to do inners next, and that's going to be 8x. And then we're going to do the last numbers, which is 4 times negative 5, which is negative 20. And once again, you combine these two terms here, and you get 6x squared minus 7x minus 20 is your answer. And you would get the same answer if you did the box method. So you have a choice which method to do. So let me do letter D. Again, we're going to do 3x minus 4. You could pause the video and try it for yourself at this point. And I'm going to pause the video right now and see how the class is doing. So it appears that most people have letter D done, so I'm going to walk through this. Again, we're going to multiply 2x times 3x and get 6x squared. Next, we're going to multiply 2x times negative 4 and get negative 8. After that, we're going to multiply negative 5 times 3 and get negative 15x. And last but not least, we're going to do negative 5 times negative 4, which is positive 20. Be careful. We'll combine the middle terms to get a negative 23x. And then this diagonal here is your answer. And hopefully it's 6x squared minus 23x plus 20, which it does check. 6x squared minus 23x plus 20 is your answer. Okay, I'm going to go through the notes on this area question here. There's a few area questions on the homework tonight. Basically what you do for this type of question. First of all, it says uh, find the area of the shaded region. The shaded region is the region that's left behind when a white square is cut out of the shaded rectangle. I'm sorry, a white rectangle is cut out of the bigger rectangle. So they have the rectangle. And you're going to take this rectangle and cut it out of the bigger one and find out what the area of the shaded region is, which is this region here that's on the outside of the white box. So to do that, you need to find the area of the bigger region. And this is a final exam question, so we need to know how to do this. So the area of the outer rectangle is the big region minus the area of the smaller region. So in order to get the area of the outer rectangle, you have to multiply the base, or the length, times the width, or vice versa. And you're going to have to do that by using the box method or FOIL. Then you're going to have to multiply the length and the width of the smaller box. Again, you can go either way with that, or base times height. And you use that by FOIL too. Now, I'm sorry, last night's homework, but however, you could use the box method for this one here. So I could put the single x there and an x plus 3 here and get x squared plus 3x is my product of this one here. So you notice they do this, and they take the foiling. So this is the foiling of the bigger region. I'm sorry. Whoops. This is the foiling of the bigger region here. I'm sorry, I'm doing that wrong again. This is the foiling of the bigger region minus the foiling of the smaller region, which they skip some steps between here. That's the smaller region minus it. So all these become minuses. That's what this is written right here. So we actually do the math here. They combine like terms. Well, we're going to take the 6x from here and subtract it from the x squared there. That's happening here. And they're going to get 5x squared. And they combine the negative 3x, the 4x, and the negative 3x. Right? And I'm missing something here because I got negative 2x. Oh, that's why. Negative 3x and negative 3x is negative 6x. Plus 4x is negative 2x. That makes sense now. And then the negative 2 is left over. So this is the area of the bigger region. So what just happened? Let's just go through and explain that again. What happened was you find the area of the big region by multiplying this times this using the box method. Then you find the area of the smaller region doing the box method. Then you take those two answers, and it's hard to see on here what the two answers are. The one answer is 6x squared minus 3x. Nope, not minus 3x. My bad. This is plus x minus 2. That's this thing multiplied out in the box. Then you're going to subtract from that this one multiplied out, which is x squared plus 3x. So when you subtract, it's this minus this to get 5x squared. X minus 3x is negative 2x. And negative 2 minus nothing, because there's nothing here to, is just going to be negative 2. So you have to be able to do that for a final exam question, and it's on the homework tonight. So let's look at the next set of notes here, which is multiplying a trinomial, 3 terms times 2 terms. And again, we're just going to use the box method. This is on the homework tonight. And you might say, well, that doesn't look the same, but you're just going to do the same method. So draw the box. Put your terms wherever you want. I'm going to put the 2x plus 7 here. You can put it wherever you want. And then down the side, I'm going to go 3x squared minus 2x plus 3. So just wrote it inside the box. Okay, then we're going to multiply the box out. So we do this times this, which is 6x cubed. Be careful. Then we'll do this times the 7, and that's going to be 21x squared. Then let's do negative 2x times 2x, which is negative 4x squared. And then we're going to do negative 2x times negative 7, which is negative 14x. And last, 3 times 2x is 6x. And 3 times 7 is 21. And once again, you add up your diagonals, or like terms. So this is going to be negative 21, or positive 21 and negative 4 is, if I can think straight here, 17x squared, I believe it is. And 6x and negative 14x is negative 8x. So your answer should be 6x cubed, 17x squared, 17x squared. Next is negative 8x and 21. So that is your answer. Your answer is right down the diagonal. That's your answer, going the other way with the diagonal. Okay, so on the homework, you're going to do the box method, but you got an extra term, but it's done the same way. And it doesn't matter which way you make the charts, you still get the same answer. Now they call it the horizontal method and the vertical method. One is a double distributive method. I would say use the box method every time. You can use the double distributive if you want. You're going to get the same answer. I'll expose these answers. I don't, unless you really like doing things differently, I wouldn't even address this, but maybe you like this method better. Okay, they just double distribute, and it kind of shows how they did it here. But I want to get to the quick check here for people, and then I want to look at some of the homework questions. So try letter A on the quick check, and you're going to need a separate sheet of paper for this. So I'm going to pause the video while people are trying the letter A. Actually, I'll walk through A, and then you can do letter B. So I'll walk through A first. So they're asking you to find the area of the shaded region. So the area of the shaded region is done by finding the area of the big region, the area of the big minus the area of the small, or area of the big box minus the small box. So the area of the big box is just 5x plus 8, and I'm going to write it right in a box, in the box method. 5x plus 8, and then I'm going to write 6x plus 2. That would be the area of the big. Then we're going to minus the area of the smaller region. Well, the area of the smaller region is just going to be, we're going to put a 5x here, times space times height, times x plus 6. I'm going to put a plus here. So I'm just going to do the box method on those two, and then I'm going to subtract my answers. So let's see. So 6x times 5x, go ahead and just yell out the answer. 30x squared, good. 6x times 8, 6 times 8 is 48x. 2 times 5x, and x. 2 times 8, 16. Okay, over here, x times 5x. 5x squared. 6 times 5x. 30x. Now we're going to, okay, well, let's combine, let me get too far ahead here. So the answer over here is 30x squared. Combine these two is plus 58x plus 16. Minus this one here, which is 5x squared plus 30x. Now be careful, the whole thing is minus. So you got to go through and say 30x squared minus 5x squared is 25x squared. 58x minus 30x is just 28x. and then what's left behind is just the 6. So that's the area of the shaded region. 25x squared plus 28x plus 6. Double check my answer to see if it's right. $25, $28, $16. I think that's right. Also Remington's locker combination. Oh, 16. Whoops, I wrote a 6 here instead of, my bad. This should be 16, not 6. My bad. So be careful. Went too fast there. So it's 16. Okay, so try the other one. This is the answers you should get for the other one. I'll give you the answers, but try them. And then we'll look at the homework. So I'm going to pause the video. So I'm going to walk through letter B. In case you made a mistake, you're not sure why. The area, the outer region would be this times this times this. So I'm just going to do that right here real quick. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Now it's interesting on this one that these two cancel each other out, and you're left with 2x squared minus 2. Okay. Then I'll do the other one, x times x minus 2 right here. And you don't have to use the box method on this, but sure, why not? X squared, x times negative 2, negative 2x. Now, what we're going to have is 2x squared, the big box, minus the small box. So minus the small, which is x squared minus 2x. So I got 2x squared minus x squared. That's just 1x squared. Negative 2 minus nothing over here is just negative 2, yeah. Okay. And then minus a minus 2x is just going to be positive 2x. So it's a little tricky. You could do this. You could say, I'm subtracting, so I need the opposite of this, which is negative x squared plus 2x. And then just combine like terms, this and this, make that. And 2x plus nothing over here is 2x, and negative 2 plus nothing over here is just negative 2, and you get the same answer. A little confusing with the negative sign, but make sure you remember to distribute the negative if you're doing it this way, and you'll get your right answer. So we're going to pause for station identification and maybe do some homework questions. So welcome back, and we had a question on question 19 we're going to address. Now this is a binomial times a trinomial. So when you do a binomial times trinomial, you can do a couple of things. You could do the double distribution method where you go this times this, this times this, this times this, and then this times this, this times this, this times this, which is fine. Works. Gets a little messy. Let's try the box method. I can write either term here. I'll do the x minus 2 since that's first. Then we'll put the x squared plus 4x plus 4 here. We're just going to systematically go through and multiply each term on the column by the terms in a row. So if I start with the x and I do these three, x times x squared, x cubed. X times 4x, 4x squared, and x times 4, 4x. Then we're going to go with the 2, negative 2, and do each one of these. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8x. And negative 2 times 4, I'm sorry, 4x is negative 8x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So we got to be careful. Be mindful of writing your powers right. Notice that the powers of x increase 3 or decrease 3, 2, none, or 1, sorry. There's a 1 there. And here it goes 2, 1, 0. Okay. The diagonals will add up to an answer. So this diagonal here adds up to 2x squared. 2x squared. And this diagonal here adds up to negative 4x. And your answer is going to be here, 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 and here. Which would be x cubed. There's no sign on 2x squared, so just make it positive 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. And that is the answer of your binomial times your trinomial. Okay, hopefully that helped. God bless you. The sky is not falling. God is with us.